Hi all, welcome back to my channel. I first of all would like to thank you all for the enthusiastic response on my first ever video on YouTube. The first video was just a demonstration of the power of Google Sheets with which you can track your individual portfolio, look at the entire stock market at a glance, and do multiple other things. This channel is going to be an educational channel wherein I will be creating demonstrations and tutorials illustrating the power of Google Sheets, wherein you can create your own watch lists to track the Indian stock markets, uh, also the other stock markets in the world. You can monitor stock levels, look at various technical indicators, and track your portfolio growth over time. So this will be the first video in this series wherein I will be demonstrating how you can create your portfolio tracker with which you can track all your purchases and sells. You can track your portfolio's performance over time. You can also track your taxable gains at the end of year, or also constantly monitor the taxable uh, outflows from your portfolio so that you are well prepared at the end of the year. So without further ado, let's jump into this first video wherein I will be showing how you can create your own portfolio tracker. For this video, I've created a bunch of sheets already with some input data using which I have already created a couple of views. So let me just demonstrate how this can, what this sheet does, and then I will show you how it was implemented. First of all, I've got some sample trades in here wherein I bought various quantities of popular stocks in the Indian stock market like TCS, HDFC Bank, and Infosys. And I've also sold one tranche of TCS in here. Using this data, I've created two views of your portfolio. The first view is the historical portfolio. This view aggregates all the buys and sells and gives you a bird's eye view of your unrealized gains, your realized gains, and the total value for each of the stocks in your portfolio. Likewise, there is also a current sheet, which is more practical sheet. This gives you a yearly view or the current view of the stocks in your portfolio, the realized gains in those stocks, and this realized gains would be what you'll be using to file the tax returns at the end of the year. Finally, you have this portfolio view where you can swap between historical and current views according to your likes or what you want to see at any point in time. This is just pulling the data from the historical and current views. Then you have the portfolio values calculated. This will help you track individual stock performance at a portfolio level over time. I've just assumed a weekly time frame in here. And then there are dashboards with which you can track your portfolio composition, your average buy sell price, and the market price for each of your stocks. You can track the growth of individual stocks, and also you can track how much profits or losses you made in each of the scripts and the daily performance of the stocks. So that's what the sheet does at a glance. Now let me walk you through how the sheet does that. First of all, you've got to input all your buy purchases as well as your sells. For this, I've created the buy sell log. The first part or the first columns in here tracks all the buy orders. And for simplicity's sake and for ease of use, you have to come and match your sell orders with the appropriate buying lot. What I mean by that is, if you look at in here, I have bought 30 TCS stocks in April 2024 and I have sold 20 of them in January 2025. And this is something that I have done manually. Let's say, for example's sake, let's say in January I buy another few lots of HDFC Bank. In here I just have to come and choose the values, and you will see how some of the other cells get auto populated. Let's say I buy another 50 quantity of HDFC Bank at 1500 rupees in the beginning of January. And now let's say I want to sell 60 quantities of HDFC Bank. What I have to do in this sheet, I have to come and manually match those 60 quantities according to the first in, first out method, or the FIFO method that is commonly used in India. So I come, I sell this entire lot. Let's say I did this on the 9th, or let me just choose the date in here. Let's say I did it sometime in the past week, let's say 10th. I will sell all 50 of this, and let's say I sold it at 1800 rupees. In here, the one change you'll have to do is, instead of the sell price, you'll have to input the entire sell amount. Assuming I'm selling it at 1800 rupees per share, I input 90,000 rupees for the sell order in here. And in the second lot of HDFC Bank, I sell the remainder 10 stocks. This would be 18,000 in here. The average selling price is automatically calculated, and the realized gains are automatically calculated. And in this column, you would have the remaining quantity of the stock in that particular lot and the total buy amount of that. With this forming the base of the sheet, let me just go to the other sheets and show how it is then tracked. Coming to the portfolio with the historical view, what I've done in here is I have pulled all the unique scripts in my buy sell log. How I've done that is, when I go to the buy sell log, all the unique scripts in here are aggregated and stored in this sheet static. In here I have two lists. One is the master script list and one is the master ticker list. The ticker list is the one that I am leveraging for all my calculations. So as you can see in here, this is the unique of all the scripts in the buy sell log in column E. That same thing is populated in here. And now for each of the scripts, what I do is I query the entire buy sell log range. You can see the formula in here. I will always have this open so you can pause the video and have a reference of this formula for your personal use. So what I've done in here is I have queried the entire range of the buy sell log A to P, where this calculation is already been done and explained, and I select the quantity of purchase, which is in column F, where column E is the script that I am interested in and column B is a buy. That's what this formula is. And this is the same format of the formula which I've used in multiple places. Let me just show you another example where this is used. So if you see in here, HDFC Bank, I've totally bought 100 quantities of HDFC Bank, which you can cross verify in here. When I look at HDFC Bank, I bought 50 and another 50 in row number 3 and row number 6, which equals to 100. And when I've sold 50 and 10, which is equal to 60, which is correctly reported in here as 60. And the formula for this is similar to the buy quantity formula. Once I have the buy and sell quantities, what I do is I repeat the same procedure and get the total buy price and the total sell price for each of these stocks. The method is exactly the same. The only change is the reference column. In the buy price, I have referred to column H, and you can verify that in here. Column H has got the buy price. And once the buy price is there, I can divide that by the buy quantity to get the average buying price. The same is done for the average selling price as well. Now with these columns populated, what I do is I calculate the quantity. The quantity is total buy quantity minus total sell quantity. Then I have the market price, which is directly coming from Google Finance. Google Finance referring to column A3, which is having the script and gives the live price. This will update by itself whenever you load the sheet, and according to the calculations that you've set, this will auto update in live during the live market. Basis that, I can calculate the total market value, which is equal to 1657 into 40, which is the total market value. I've got the unrealized gains, which is the total market value minus, actually I've calculated it using the market price minus the average buy price and the difference into the total quantity that I have available. The percentage of unrealized gains is unrealized gains divided by the total buy price. Then I've got the realized gains, which is equal to the average selling price minus the average buy price and the whole into the total sell quantity. And I've got the realized gain percentage. The total value is equal to the sum of total sell price and the total market value. Total gain is the sum of total sell price plus total market value minus the total buy price. Total gain percentage is again the total gain divided by the total buy price. This will give you the historical performance of your individual stocks in your portfolio across multiple years. You can use this as a base guidance to guide your decisions on buy or sell purchases of your stocks that you're interested in, just to get a quick idea of whether these stocks are profitable or they're at loss for you. This will give you a good idea before you take your buy or sell decisions in the live market. Similar to this sheet, there's also a current sheet. The only difference in the current sheet and the historical sheet is that historical sheet aggregates all your buy and sell purchases, whereas the current sheet is more like your taxable view that you get in your stockbroker platforms like Zerodha or Sharekhan or whatever you use to purchase your stocks from the Indian market. So in here, if you see HDFC Bank, which was the example that we were seeing, the buy quantity isn't 100, it is 40. 40 is actually the current stocks that I have. If you remember, I had purchased 50 and 50, which is equal to 100 quantities of HDFC stock, and then sold 60 in the end of the last week. So I'll have 40 remainder stocks, which is correctly represented in here as 40. The average buy price for these 40 stocks is 1500, which is being calculated the same way as I mentioned, except in here the reference that is being used is column P. If you go back to the sheet, column P has got the correct reference for the remainder stocks in each lot, and therefore my reference in here is column O and P instead of what we had used in the historical sheet where we were referring to columns F and H. That's the only change in here. Then coming back, I have the sell quantities, which is the same logic that we had used previously. Quantity, market price, market value, unrealized gains, realized gains are all calculated the same way. You may just pause at this moment, refer to the formulas that I have used and recreate the sheet to get all this data in your individual sheets as of now. Once you have got that, what you can do is you can continue with these views, or you can create a view like this, wherein I've just created a drop down selector in here, which using which I can toggle between historical and current values and look at my dashboard according to that. So what I've done in here is I've gotten two values, historical and current. If I choose historical, I will get all the values from my portfolio historical view. And if I choose current, I'll just get all the values from my current sheet. The way to implement this is you just create a cell with some data validation, have two input variables in here. If one, go to historical sheet and pull all the values from there, otherwise pull it from the portfolio current value. That is being implemented in here. Basis the cell value of B1, I query for all the data from column A to column Q from these two sheets. And that's how this is implemented. If historical, query from portfolio historical sheet, otherwise query from portfolio current sheet. This is the simple formula, nothing else changes in here. Just this one column, one cell has got the formula and everything else is pulled from there. With this base data, what you can do is create this dashboard. In this dashboard, I've got some summary in here. This tells you about the total cash that you've invested in your portfolio. What is the total cash returned in your portfolio? What is the total cash in the market? And you can calculate the percentages according to those values in here. Post that, you can create these charts. I will create a separate video on how to create these charts as a follow-up so that you can recreate them at your end. But basically what I've done in here is I've got the composition of my portfolio, what percentage of my portfolio is allocated in each of the scripts is something that you can see from this pie chart. Then I've got the comparison of the average buy price, average sell price, and the current market price. This will give me a quick idea of where every stock is with respect to my purchase prices. Then I've got the historical performance of each of the stocks in my portfolio. So as you can see in here, HDFC Bank, I had 50 stocks of HDFC Bank, which was totaling around 90,000 at the beginning of this year. Then I bought another 50, which took the total quantum of HDFC Bank in my portfolio to around 1.75 lakhs. And then I sold 60 and then it's come down in here. Likewise, you can track all the other stocks in here. Then I've got the depiction of unrealized gain, realized gain, and total gain percentages in here. Here I have a view where you can see how close the market prices for each of the individual stocks are to the all-time high of the stock. As you can see, HDFC Bank is nearly 88% of its 52-week high. Likewise, Infi is nearly at its 52-week high, which is 97.97% at the moment, and it should hopefully cross the 52-week high anytime soon. Then finally, you've got the daily performance of these stocks. This just tells you that HDFC Bank went down by 0.65% in the previous market session. Infi rose by 2.53% and TCS rose by 5.6%. So yeah, that's it guys from this first video. Please leave your comments, any feedback that you have for me on your comments, and I'll be glad to follow that up with further videos in here. And I also promise that I'll create another video to help how you can track your individual stocks according to this graph. What this graph is doing in here is showing you the historical value of each of these stocks in your portfolio. The way I've done this is something that I'll be explaining in my next video. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you guys.